Great morning, everybody, and welcome to day 15 of my Forex journey. Hope everyone had a amazing weekend over this past weekend. Hope everyone was able to rest, recuperate, recalibrate, and get yourselves ready to see what opportunities lie ahead for us. So, taking a look at the early action today as I wake up ready to trade, it looks like gold and silver are not ready in terms of being able to be traded on just yet. So, and just take a look at platinum. We do not have an opportunity on that either. So, what I want to go ahead and do today is I want to show everybody what our next move is going to be. Considering I still want to work with platinum a little bit, since we're not at that goal that I set out for it in terms of working on turning a profit to show it can be placed on the real account. What we're going to do is we're going to add to our rotation. And what I mean by that is we're going to add another pair that we're going to go ahead and we will focus on trading as well. And to do that, I'll show everybody exactly what we're going to do. Okay, everybody, so we are back. So I am going to create a new demo account with the same leverage, same balance settings as I had with the previous demo account. And then I'm also going to download another copy of the Hugo's Way setup, and we're going to install that. And I'll show specifically what it is that we will do to add our third Hugo's Way into the mix. So I just got that email for the new demo MetaTrader account created. So we'll take a look at that in a bit. First, I'm going to left click on settings and just make sure that because I have a second of these programs, I'm going to put that as for my installation folder part. And again, all I'm doing is left clicking on settings. Then I'm coming over here, going to installation folder, clicking on there, and at the end of this path here, I'm just putting a open parentheses, a number 2, and then a close parentheses right there, clicking on next and getting that baby installed. So while all that is happening, I've got my demo account information ready to go. We're just waiting on this right here to finish. Okay, it has. So I'm going to click on finish right there. This internet page, you don't need it. So we'll go ahead and we'll close that for right now. And then we'll just come back here and wait for the chart to load. And then I will go ahead and do what I need to do to get this account ready for us. Okay, so here's our third Hugo's Way program. So we'll drag that all the way to our taskbar right here. I'm also going to right click on this program, left click pin to taskbar so I can have it on our easy for what I would say easy selection, easy access. And then all I'm doing is I'm then going to access the Hugo's Way Demo 3 trading server, go into my existing trade account, and then I am going to log into my demo account. And I will say this is great practice for those that do not have a demo account or they need a new demo account to practice on. This is how you would go ahead and log into your own demo account. So you'll hear some cartoon sounds that confirms that you have everything set up ready to go. I will be right back because I just need to do a few modifications to this particular program right here. Okay, everybody, I am back ready to go. So now the next thing I want to do is I'd like to add in the pair that we're going to go ahead and trade on. And so what I'll do is I'm going to left click on view, left click on symbols. I'm going to go into my metal section and we've already done silver. We've already done gold. We're working on platinum. So I'm going to do the gold versus the euro. So XAU EUR, we'll go ahead and add that pair. So we'll left click on show, come over to our market watch right here, left click on that symbol to highlight it, right click, left click on chart window. Same thing, I'm going to put this on the 5-minute time frame. And again, we have multiple time frames right here, M1, M5, M15. This will show you the market at higher or a much more prolonged period of time, the bigger your time setting is. For intents and purposes, what we'll do is I'm going to put this on the M5 because I do believe that is the settings that I want to personally trade on, to experiment on. And I'm going to go ahead and just make sure everything is lined up perfect. And then I'm going to put my pieces together right here. Okay. All right, and perfect. So now this is ready to go and ready to start trading. Now, I'm actually going to come back to gold right here because we did have a alert right here. Here's our arrow pointing it down. So when this candle closes, that's going to give us a opportunity to get into a sell trade. As we can see, there is a downtrend that I am noticing. So we're definitely going to go ahead and pay attention to that. We definitely have a big shift. Let me go ahead and just kind of illustrate that for everybody. Oh, not what I wanted to do. Not what I wanted to do. Let me try that again. Okay, there we go. So there is a big downward shift right here. Just kind of taking a look from that highest point right there. We do see that shift. So what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves into a sell. There we go. And of course, as always, we'll go ahead and just let that trade play out. So again, in the meantime, I did talk about multiple time frames, and again, it really does depend on your schedule and how much time you want to spend on the charts themselves. I personally, because I only have 5 hours, or I use 5 hours, and no, I am focused as I'm trading, and I don't mind taking a look at the charts as I trade. The 5 minute time frame works for me because I can give myself that appropriate amount of focus needed in order to make sure that my trades are moving forward in the right direction. So that's just something that you're going to need to experiment with, and you'll need to put into practice as you move forward with your own trades. It's going to look different for everybody. My particular time frame may not work with you personally, so it really is a matter of experimenting. Now, for the M1 time frame, which is a shorter time frame than the M5, because you're looking at the 1 minute candles compared to 5 minute, you are going to see more opportunities because there's less data being processed. But from what I've tested so far, the trade opportunities are not as consistent. So that is something that you yourself will need to pay attention to as you move forward with trading. Of course, for any strategy that you do, for any strategy that you test, I certainly would recommend that you make sure that you put a demo account in place before you do anything else. That's going to be really important as you move forward throughout your trading path. And so what we can also go ahead and what we can also talk about, and then the other thing that okay, sorry about that, folks. So the other thing that we can go ahead and we can talk about is now breathing during trading. And it sounds silly. It sounds, well, yeah, of course, we are breathing, right? We're humans, we have to breathe in order to get the oxygen to come into our bodies. We have to breathe in order to survive, right? So, I mean, we know how to breathe. So, what do I mean by that specifically? And essentially, what I'm talking about right here is just making sure that you're always at a place of calm, that you're always at a place of a mindset where you're not going to be shaken by what happens with the market. So, priming yourself for being ready to make sure you can handle whatever the market is going to give you at a particular point in time. So, the way that I like to, preface that is again the importance of breathing. So, what I do is again, we want to take a deep breath in and then let it go. And even doing that, even just doing like one deep breath, something like that, that is going to allow you to just put yourself in a right state of mind, a right place in your temperament, your mindset to just be able to focus on the things that we need to focus on during the trading day. And even going a little bit deeper into that is the fact that breathing, when you do that, all of the things that, can get into your head. We talked about before the negative thoughts, the negative doubts, the negative mindsets that one can have as they trade. We've talked about the circle of anxiety before. There's so many things that us traders can run into as we start trading the markets, especially when real money is involved. And of course, I can only attest to, or I can only speak of my own personal experience, understanding how scary it is to trade in these particular markets, especially when you're starting out. I mean, we're all going to go through our own day one of our journeys, and we're going to move forward from day one to day two. And it's important to be able, as this gets easier for you and it gets a little bit better to process the emotions, process the thoughts, process your what I like to call calmness. It is important as you're trading, just to make sure to breathe at least at some point within your trading so that you can go ahead and make sure that you are turning to a more calmer and a more unshakable trading mindset. So again, I breathe in for about, and normally, I don't know if there's a particular counter that you want to use, but usually I breathe in for 4 seconds and then I breathe out for 4 seconds. And you'll find your own rhythm. It may not need to look exactly as I'm doing it, but you are going to find your own rhythm. And as you do that a lot more, you're going to notice how important it is and how useful that breathing technique can be for you. And then even the breathing, even that can help with the focus on trading. And I also think that's very important because with focus, right? Think about it. We're going to need to, or I should say for me, I'm constantly making sure that, my focus is on these charts Monday through Friday and we got a sell signal right there on platinum. So we're going to look at that when that is ready. But as far as just making sure that I've got my focus, one thing that I need to make sure I'm doing whenever these particular on each day, I'm looking at the trades, just making sure that, we are paying attention to what we need to pay attention to. And so one of the things that's going to help us to make sure that we're indeed doing that is making sure that we have that proper focus as we move forward. So that proper focus, is just making sure, hey, I've got my eyes on the charts. I've got my eyes on my candle timer, so I know exactly when these candles are going to close. I'm looking at all these different screens right here. And again, you might be looking at this and this might be going like, Jordan, whoa, what do you have going on over here? And that's where you'll have to first understand where you're at the journey. If you're not comfortable, as I take a sell trade right here, if you're not comfortable with looking at specifically what I'm doing right here, so if you're not comfortable with me going through, or you're not comfortable with your where you're at in terms of putting all this stuff on, then perhaps all you need to do is focus on one pair for right now. And then once you're ready, then branch out to the second pair. And then once you're ready, branch out to the third pair. Again, everyone has a different place or a different area or a different point in the past where they're at in the Forex journey. I know that I'm on day 15 of my own journey. Some of you might just be starting out. Some of you may already be leagues beyond me. If you're watching these videos, you might be leagues beyond me, and that's absolutely awesome. You know, everyone has their own different experience, and you know, some of this may be a lot of remedial stuff to those that are currently trading, and some of this may be stuff that's way out there for those that have no idea what this forex market could do. So again, that's where understanding where you're at in the path is going to help you move forward in the right direction. And then we talked about one trade versus multiple particular pairs of trading. So again, for me, while you can get rich off of one particular pair, I've seen traders just trade gold. I've seen traders just trade silver. I know personally, I have done the experimentation of just focusing on one pair, focus, whether that be gold or whether that be silver, or whether, going back to my own past, just focusing on crypto. Specifically, there was one pair I remember liking a whole lot called LTC, and I'm hoping to add that pair at some point in the journey. But coming back to the main point, I do remember being one of those particular individuals that just traded the particular, sorry, just one particular pair. I don't, but for me, understanding that diversification is going to be especially important for us. My main focus will be just trading on multiple trades when that opportunity comes. So if we're constantly looking at the charts, if we're constantly shifting what charts we see, we understand that that's just a matter of us just making sure that we get into the right opportunities. Now, of course, when we look at the grand scheme of things, we will be focusing a lot more closely on the opportunities that come in on the real account, so the account with the with the quote unquote money inside it. So that will be our primary focus, but we're also going to make sure that to cover and still apply the same principles that we're doing from the real account over to our demo accounts. We're still going to look at trades at this particular avenue as well, so that we don't miss out on anything that could be especially useful to us, especially because the idea would be then, once we're able to get a clear understanding of how this pair works and we're able to generate some sort of profit on it, then then that pair we know can be useful to our real account when we're ready to go ahead and trade on it. So again, just taking a look, we have some trades already in progress at the moment. And another thing that we're also going to need to pay attention to, so we've been winning trades, we've been losing trades, and this is where the law of averages comes into play. Now, the law of averages dictates that, of course, we're not going to win every single trade. We've been very much seeing that particular concept play out as we move forward throughout these days. We've won trades, we've lost trades, and we need to understand that. But with the law of averages, that means specifically, if we're taking all these particular trades on all these particular pairs, and we're moving forward in the right direction, then what this will dictate for us is that we will be able to keep trading on the pairs that we want to go ahead and we want to keep trading on. So, for example, what that means to us is, we're going to still be able to trade gold. We're still going to take a high, or we're going to have our trade opportunities come as they are. And I confidently know that the more that we do our system, the more that we follow our simple three-step system. So we know what trend we are. We know specifically when we enter the trade, we know what our risk management is. We know what our plan is to enter these trades or when to exit these trades. And when we do that consistently, follow the system, follow the simple set of rules that we have in place, then the law averages will only, let me take a cell right here. The law averages will only dictate that the more that we do our plan, the more success that we're going to have. In fact, as far as the law averages are concerned, I remember there was a really good friend of mine that showed me a a particular video. As far as that particular video, if you guys want the link on that, I can certainly go ahead and find that for you and share for you on a more private level. But the only thing is that it is a little bit colorful in terms of the language. So that is something that you yourself are going to want to make sure you can handle. But the idea with the concept behind the video is that success really, we talked so much about success, what that means. Another part of success, especially when it comes to the law averages specifically, is that success is a bleep in numbers game. Now, I'll go ahead and let you fill in the blanks of what that bleeping can mean. I don't know if I need to necessarily say that on the air for anybody who is listening or who is watching, but the idea is that, look, at the end of the day, the more trades that we do, the more that we place ourselves in these opportunities and the more that we execute these opportunities, then the higher chance of success that we're going to have in the long game as a trader. And of course, all that will come down to being based on the having a what I like to call a mindset of confidence. If you have a confident mindset while you're trading in the financial markets, that is going to help you in terms of making sure that you are able to capitalize on the trades that we're making on. And of course, we've seen throughout the journey where, we've had our confidence build up, or, I wouldn't necessarily say that my own confidence built up just because I have the experience and wherewithal to know where I'm at. So I'm always able to keep my confidence at a more stable place, if you will. Even, as we were winning these trades and even as we're, taking the losses on these trades. But, for a new trader, that particular mindset, being the guard of your mind, it's going to be a little bit more difficult only because you don't have the experiences needed in order to get through those particular emotions that you'll go through as a new trader. It'll be a matter of you'll get into these trades, and depending on what happens, that's either going to enhance or it's going to destroy the confidence that you have. And so, and this is specifically how come I always advise traders to always trade first with the demo account so that you can get through those early emotions, so that you know how to properly manage your trades first on paper money before we start going in and playing with real money on our accounts. I think that's very important to make sure that When we talk about that mindset of confidence, you're going to be able to protect that particular mindset no matter where you're at specifically in your trades, or no matter where you're at specifically in your experience as you move forward. And then there's also a few other things that I want to go ahead and I'd like to talk about as well. All right, everybody, I just wanted to go ahead and just come back. We can see that the down arrow just for platinum is moved on to the current candle that we have opened. Now, we also had the arrow also transition over to this particular candle over here previously. While we were offline, the candle did move to this area right over here before transitioning to this next candle. So I just wanted to make sure that we covered this particular trade and just show everybody, what was the next move right here. So right now we're just waiting for this next candle to close before we head into another trade with platinum. So I'm currently observing that as we speak. Got about 2 minutes left to go before this particular candle closes. And then I'm also managing or looking at gold as well, and just making sure that we got our eyes set up on this trade as well. So giving everybody a quick update as to what our next moves are at per se, and nothing on silver or gold versus the euro as of yet. So we're still waiting for some trading opportunities to come onto those particular pairs. And so we're just going to wait for this particular minute candle to close. And as you're going ahead and as you're looking at some of these days, right? And I know I talked about this on a previous video, but it is very important to know that even though we've got about, and this will be about day 15, there'll be about 15 days of trading covered on this particular channel so far. It is important to understand and to evaluate where you are at in the trading process, and understand that if you're not at the stage where I'm at, and not only that, but you have a different pace of picking up on the material, that is absolutely perfect. You do want to make sure that you're going at your own pace and recognize that trading is a step-by-step journey. I look at the importance of Kaizen and understanding the one trade at a time, one piece at a time philosophy, and just understanding that you're moving forward at your own path, wherever it is that you need to move forward to, and don't feel. And we just opened up a sell trade because again, that this candle closed with the arrow moving. So we just want to make sure we covered the 1, 2, 3, 4 candles that we should be in for our trades. But more to the point, we just want to make sure that we understand that it's about going through it one piece at a time and just making sure that you're basing it off your own journey and not comparing yourself to someone else at the stage of trading that you're currently at. All right, everybody. So I just wanted to come back and show that gold is kind of taking a hit in the wrong direction. So I'm going to close one trade, just make sure that our margin stays afloat right there. And ultimately, we just need to go ahead and we need to wait for the next opportunity. So that's what's going on with gold. It appears the downtrend that we were trying to find with gold is not there at the moment, but that is okay. We'll move on to the next trade. And then as far as platinum is concerned, we could see that the down arrow has again shifted to the next candle. And we will go ahead and just follow along with that. Silver, no trades on silver as of yet. So no, we're waiting for that opportunity to strike as well. And also gold versus euro, not an opportunity there as of yet. Now you can see that, of course, what we were doing is just making sure that the we're following along, making sure first the real account is protected because, hey, that holds all the money on the table, so to speak. And what we're also doing is we're following along with the trading plan that we have put in place together. So that what that means to us in the grand scheme of things is, again, we have our three simple step system. We know, okay, we first want to identify, okay, the trend that we're seeing is that, well, at that point in time when the arrow came about, we first need to understand, before we even looked at the arrow, have to understand, okay, we understand that we were at a downtrend at some particular point in time. So the arrow coming down makes sense to us. Now, also, we have to understand, okay, now that we see the arrow, what is our risk management? Well, for gold, for every $100 that's into our account, we adjust our lot size by 0.01. So we knew at that particular point in time to get into a trade that had a 0.01 lot size. And then the next step was, okay, we enter the trade once this particular candle closes, which we did. Then we wait until the trade plays out, and then we exit based on our three rules. We either see a 3% account balance increase, we either see the trade get 30 pips on that particular trade, or we see that the arrow has disappeared, or we see a confirmation that, first and foremost, we need to go ahead and exit this trade. And as I was monitoring, while the arrow didn't necessarily disappear, we take a look at the fact that this would have been our resistance up top right here. So that 1421.25, that is the high point on this candle that the that price created. That's the high, what we call open. And again, the high open is just, okay, what was the highest point in this 5-minute amount of time that price reached, but didn't necessarily close on? And so we know that for 1641.25 was that point. We could see that these candles right here, while they touched that particular point, they didn't necessarily break that line. So I was okay with holding on to the trade. And now that we could see this big push from this candle right here, and we could see that it's closed right above that line, that's when I knew it was time to get out of that trade and essentially just wait for the next opportunity to trade. So that's where we're at with gold. So we've closed that. And then just taking a look at platinum, we could see that there was that push right there. So we're going to go ahead and enter a sell trade on there. The candle itself has not disappeared. So we are going to go ahead and still allow this particular trade to play out. And again, here's the beautiful thing. I'm not worried about what's happening with platinum because, again, we're practicing on a demo first to make sure that this pair is sufficient enough to make sure that we will use this for our real account. It wouldn't have made sense at this time to put it on the real account right now. Otherwise, that would have jeopardized what we are creating at this particular point in time. That would be unnecessary stress that we would have had. So rather than give us that unnecessary stress, it is best to go ahead and allow what we're doing with platinum right now, which is protecting it, or I'm sorry, not protecting it, but placing it on this particular strategy right now and allowing us to make sure that it is indeed going to work for us. And again, if this strategy doesn't work, then we know, okay, it's not best to trade platinum on the 5-minute time frame. I already know that the 1-minute time frame won't necessarily work because if it's that inconsistent on platinum on the 5-minute, it most likely is going to be, then it is most likely that the 1-minute will not work either. So then we would switch over to the 15-minute time frame. So we are testing strategies, and that's important too as a trader, to test your own strategies and essentially make the system your own. We talked about making the system your own, that, while I am working with a very great trading team, a very great trading partner in 8 Minute Trader, Longevity, Sal Leto, Dr. Luis Ariaza, Maurice Katz are my mentors. I also understand that a lot of this, what I'm doing right now, is making the system my own and experimenting on what I can do for my accounts. It's not going to work for everybody. And I also know that by doing this, that by taking the risk of making these trades my own, I'm also taking the responsibility. I'm putting that on my shoulders as far as taking these trades. Whether the system for me is going to work or not, that is my own responsibility that I myself need to go ahead and follow, and just understand that if this doesn't work, that's on me. I own that particular mistake. I put that on my shoulders, and I essentially move on and work on then the next test. Work on, okay, that didn't work. Now we know that trading platinum on the 5 minute time frame did not work for us. So this isn't necessarily a loss if we think about it. This is more a learning experience, and we gain a positive from this experience by knowing, hey, it just doesn't work on this time. We shouldn't use this particular time frame to trade if that is indeed the case. We're not going to necessarily put the cart before the horse before we're able to see the formulation of everything come together. So again, I'm just taking a look at all my different charts right here, looking at all the different opportunities. I can see that this candle is about to close within the next 50 seconds. So I see that the down arrow is still there, which indicates that we still are indeed in part of a downtrend. So we're going to be looking to make sure that candle stays the way it is. It looks like this candle is about to close in the next about 35 seconds, and then we'll be able to see what that next opportunity moves, or where we're able to go from here. Now, again, all of what we're doing right here, we've been focusing on all these different pairs. We've been focusing on the different ways to trade, the trade opportunities, and we've been consistent in doing that for the past 15 days or so. And for us, what's important to go ahead and understand as we take this next trade right here, what's important to understand is the commitment part to this whole equation. See, what we're understanding right here is the matter of the fact that there is a bit of a commitment that comes into place when trading. This isn't something that we can necessarily, unless there's like a holiday or a weekend, those are, of course, our two exceptions where we're not necessarily trading at those particular times. But the idea, or the point I'm trying to make, is the fact that we understand that by coming into this particular space, that there does need to be a commitment on our part in order to reach our dreams, in order to reach our goals. And again, that's going to look differently for, okay, so as we can tell, I'm going to close all these trades right here, right? Oh, wait, no, I can't do that because I don't have my auto trading button on. But okay, so let's go ahead and let's close all these trades. Let's close all these trades. And let's understand that our experiment with platinum did not work in this case. So again, what have we learned? We've learned how important it is to trade on a demo account and understand that our experiment with the 5 minute time frame on platinum using our system did not work. And that's a beautiful thing, because now we go through the process of elimination. We say, okay, the 5 minute time frame did not work for platinum on a demo account. So again, there would have been no need for me to put this on the real account, because if I had left it like that, that would have gotten us into a severe situation that we did not want to be a part of. So now we know, and this is what we're going to do. we're going to go ahead and I'm going to create a new demo account. Same settings. Nothing has changed. Let me come over to, and you don't need to see this part. I mean, what I meant to say was you probably don't need to see me going through and navigating to all my different pieces of mail right here. I don't think that's necessary. But what we're going to do is I'm going to just log into my new account. And again, forgive me, everybody, if I sound like if I don't sound that well. This weekend was great, but I did kind of lose a few things in the mix in terms of my my voice, my energy right now. So we're just going to go ahead and get the little shift back right there. So a little bit of motion right there. But as we can see, we just placed our new $100 demo account on Platinum. We're going to switch over to the 15-minute time frame this time. So instead of the 5-minute, we're going to do the 15-minute. So that will give us that won't necessarily give us a lot of opportunities as the 5-minute time frame did. However, the objective now would be to go ahead and look to see if we can use that 15-minute time frame to our advantage. Less opportunities, but what we're looking for now is more so the consistency piece that would come into play for us. So we're going to do that for Platinum. We're going to switch to the 15-minute time frame. We could already see a down arrow right there. So we're going to wait till the candle close in order to go ahead and get that done. And again, that right there showed we did an experiment. We failed on that particular experiment. There's no other way to go and about it. We failed on that experiment, but now we can be confident to know that trading on the 5-minute time frame on Platinum is not the way to go. That's not what we want to aim for. And instead, we're now going to go ahead and look for a different time frame to experiment with. So this candle is about to close in about 5 seconds. And then we're going to go ahead and enter this particular trade. All right. Oh, that's right. Got to make sure I got my one-click trading in there. No problem. We are in the trade right now. So we have gone ahead and now we are in one trade on Platinum. This time on the 15-minute time frame, we could already see that an arrow has been shifted towards the upside. So we will now allow this 15-minute candle to close to make sure that we'll still go in that particular direction. So that will be our plan for Platinum. So we'll leave that right there. Gold versus euro, no opportunities on that particular pair. And then gold and silver we're still waiting on a opportunity at this particular point in time. So we'll go ahead and let this particular candle or not necessarily close out, but we will allow it to work, and we will be able to see how this particular candle behaves as we move forward. Hey everybody, I just wanted to quickly come back to Platinum so we could see that arrow disappeared. So again, what that means for us is we're just going to place a buy now on Platinum. We're going to go ahead and place that buy, place that hedge in there, and we'll wait to trade on Platinum on the next opportunity again, and that will be on the 15-minute time frame. We're looking at gold and silver right now. Still no opportunities at that particular point in time. However, once we see the opportunity, we will make sure that we will go ahead and capitalize on it. All right, everybody. So we are back. We didn't necessarily have a trade opportunity up until this point. Just taking a look at gold. Now I did miss that buy opportunity right there. So that is most definitely on me, but I'm sure you will get something going in the near future on that. Silver has not given us an opportunity as of yet. Platinum, we're still waiting. And again, we are now switching the strategy from a 5-minute time frame on Platinum to now the 15-minute time frame on Platinum, and now gold versus the euro. So this is not gold versus the United States dollar. That is gold versus the euro is the pair that we're also going to focus on a demo account. And the idea is if we are successful with the gold versus euro, then we plan on bringing this to our real account and we will trade on that. So we're going to wait for 1 minute to make sure that buy arrow stays right where it needs to be, right there. So we're just waiting on that. And I could definitely see how come the buy arrow is there, right? We zoom out a little bit, I can definitely see while it is in a bit of consolidation, there is a very strong support that I see. If I could just take my line right there. And again, this isn't necessarily important if we want to keep things simplified, but it's also important to understand that there are a few things that I take a look at to understand, okay, how come the arrow is there? How come we have the arrow showing up for us that is about for this candle that's about to close in about 15 seconds. And again, we're going to make sure that we have our one click trading that's turned on. I want to make sure that is done. We're going to have our lot size set to 0.01 to follow with our risk management strategy. We're going to click on buy and we're going to let this particular trade go ahead and do its thing. So there we go. We are in the trade right now. Now, just taking a quick look, I could definitely see again, coming back to why this particular trade is in place. I can see that for in terms of our arrow, we can see that we are moving in a upward direction, a positive direction right here. Especially with this recent trend that's been developed, I can see a little bit of an uptrend right there that I can identify. I could also see a well-respected support on here as well that's being covered. But again, if we do want to keep things simplified, while it's important to know that and understand it and allow it to only improve the system that we're using, it's also important to make sure that we keep things as simplified as possible for us. And again, I'm just looking at different charts. I'm looking for different opportunities. I want to make sure that we're able to cover a few things as we move forward throughout this particular journey together, my friends. And again, you might hear that my voice sounds a little weak. For that, well, I don't know if I need to necessarily apologize, but I have been feeling a little bit under the weather for going back to the past weekend. I'm sure it's nothing too serious. Before we start going, oh God, is it COVID or something like that? I don't think so. Very positive that's not the case. It's just a matter of, hey, we all have our times where our body just tells us, hey, Jordan, I want you to relax a little bit. I want you to not go as hard as you've been. We're going to need you to take it down to a little bit of a level, give yourself a rest. And that is the case. If that is what my body is telling me, then I must listen to my body and understand the key principles of Kaizen, one day at a time, one video at a time. This will be progress that I am doing in my own life. And this is something that we can also take as a lesson as well. We don't have to get everything done all at once today. We don't have to stress ourselves with so many things that can go on. All we can really do on our side is just understand, okay, we have to take things one step at a time. We have to go ahead and take things one day at a time and do not allow ourselves to get also stressed or also worked up. Otherwise, you will get to a point where you're not going to be able to function properly. So being in this state, understanding that I still have a lot of energy, like, I do want to portray myself as a guy that does still have that energy, that's still wanting to take these traits and still talking to Mike, because this is my passion. We talked about how I'm using this channel to combine both my Forex trading, my podcasting, and my coaching passion. So this is all great for me. I just have to understand that if my body gets into this particular state where it doesn't sound the best, it doesn't feel the best, then it's okay to, levy the brakes just a little bit. We can go from 100 maybe to potentially just 90, 80, 70. allow our bodies to, get that proper rest that we need, and then we can go ahead and kick things up again. But coming back to our trades after that tangent, we can definitely see that we are in this gold versus the euro trade right now. It's definitely looking strong and definitely something to observe as we move forward. Now, you might be thinking that, especially this past day, or, going back to the earlier parts of the recording, we did lose that trade on gold. That was one thing that happened. We saw that our account or previous account for platinum, when we were on the 5-minute time frame, that ultimately did not end up in our favor. So we had to scratch that. And we had to go ahead and create a new demo account, test a new strategy. So you might be thinking, well, after all that, how is my mindset still? How am I doing? Am I still focused? Am I still breathing? And the matter of the fact is absolutely. We do want to still be in a place where we're not in this state of stress where a couple of things did go wrong today, but instead be in a calm place to know, oh, okay, we just have to look for that next opportunity. We have to go ahead and we have to look for that next trade. And so being in that state of going from a stress state, to a calm state, especially for a new trader, I know what that's like. It's not an easy transition. It's not an easy mindset pattern to develop, but it is going to be important for you. Now, I've talked about, breathing. That's going to help a whole lot. Having that focus, that's going to help a whole lot. Practicing on a demo account first, what we're doing on here first before you transition into real money, that's also going to be important as well. Because at the end of the day, if we're not calm, if we're feeling stressed, then the joy that we'll get or the opportunities that come abound when we're trading in forex, we're not going to take as full advantage because we're not in the right state of mind to do the things that we know we need to do in order to be successful. So very important to make sure that we're moving in that particular direction. And then another thing I want to also bring up is the fact, okay, so we've got gold and silver that we're trading on the real account right now. We got those opportunities, and we're still waiting for something to to break open for us, so to speak. We've got platinum already being tested on one demo account, and we're also testing gold versus euro on another account as well. You might be asking, especially if this is potentially your first day, and if that's the case, you want to go over to day one, start the journey from there. You need to understand that there is a process we have put together starting from day 1 to day 15 right now. So you want to go through that process to understand what that part of the journey can look like for you as a model. And we talked about it. Go at your own pace, piece by piece. You don't have to go as slow as me, or nor do you need to go as fast as me, depending on the viewer that is watching. But it is important to know the principle of Kaizen, one bite at a time, piece by piece, step by step. And as you start to build up that knowledge, as you start to build up that experience, as you start to take trades trade by trade, then there is that particular mastery or that particular growth piece that you're going to have as you move forward. Now, I want to come back to what I was saying before. So we have, 4 different pairs essentially that we're trading on 3 separate accounts. And that's because we want to make sure that we go through what's called a diversified portfolio strategy. We don't want to necessarily now traders, they do rely, some traders do rely, and traders can get rich on one pair. That's definitely not what I'm saying. And if that is a strategy that's been working for you, then that's a strategy that's been working for you. I'm not going to argue against that strategy. However, my interpretation is that because we have so many pairs that are out there, because there are so many different opportunities that we can make, we don't have to necessarily, or what I want to do is make sure we don't necessarily rely on one pair to get things going for us. In actuality, that actually will help us. The more trades that we can take, the more of our mindset can be built upon where, okay, I don't need to focus on what happened with the last trade all the time. I don't need to focus on the fact that that trade was a losing trade. I don't need to focus on the fact that we had that account in platinum get busted. I don't have to worry about that. What I have to worry about is, okay, what's going on presently with this particular trade on this particular pair? Is it going to help us grow? Is it going to allow us to move forward with this pair for future endeavors? That's the question I want to ask myself right now as this trade is going into its process. The trade is doing its thing. So being dependent on one pair for me, I'm not going to say is a bad thing, nor am I going to judge if you trade on one pair. But for me, trading on multiple pairs helps me look for other opportunities that are out there in the market. And also it allows me to just have a fresh mindset. Okay, on to the next trade. Okay, on to the next trade. Okay, on to the next trade. And I'm able to go ahead and repeat that on a consistent basis. And again, it just helps me maintain, and we talked about this earlier, our mindset of confidence that we have as a master trader. And again, this diversified arrangement of pairs allows us to also mitigate, helps us tremendously with our risk management, because again, we're not depending on one pair for everything, but instead we can look at one pair as potentially a loss, another pair is a gain if we are able to time those strategies right. And I know this is all concept, and we want to show that off in real-time experience, which I'm confident we will be able to go ahead and do that as we move forward throughout the journey together. And again, just understanding that we're going from one trade to the next. We're not thinking about the present. I'm sorry, we are thinking about the present. We're not thinking about the past. We're not thinking about the future. We're not getting depressed on what happened in the past. We're not getting anxious about what could happen in the future. That right there is a state that we talked about it being called this mindset of confidence. However, if we want to label it a different way, we want to be in a state of present time consciousness. We want to focus on just what's going on right now, right? We don't want to think about it as, okay, I have to worry about the past or I have to worry about the future. No, all we are really needing to go ahead and do, or all we're really needing to go ahead and understand, is that we just have to focus on what's going on right here and right now. And if we can go ahead and do that, that allows us to be in a better mindset to take the opportunities that are going to come as we move forward throughout these days and as we move forward throughout these weeks. And as we take these trades and as we keep our strategies going, as we constantly change up what we're doing, as we constantly adapt to what we're seeing on my set, I'm seeing this in live. I know you guys are seeing this on the recorded side of things, but as you move forward and as you're able to pick some things that you like, pick some things that you don't like, and start to practice those concepts on your own, what you're doing is you're setting yourself what's called a fortitude in training. You're building up that strength. You're building up that confidence. You're building up that foundation to where you can keep going on this journey, no matter which particular side of the day is in your particular perspective, whether it's a great day, whether it's a bad day, or whether it's a straight even day. You're allowed to go ahead and use that as a tool to help you grow. And again, for me doing these particular, it's easy for me to just, do all this on my own and not tell everybody. But again, what I understand, and I've talked about this mainly on my trailer for the channel, but what I'm doing as far as synchronicity goes, and I knew we were going to come back to this at some point, but I think synchronicity is so important because of what I'm doing and how we're using synchronicity in the Forex market as well to help us grow. See, with synchronicity, just coming back to, before this whole channel was created, what I was doing was Forex trading on one side, doing a few different podcasts on the other side, and then on the other end, I was doing coaching for those that needed, help in trading, and, installing the right products or whatnot. And so that was all in three separate directions. And my mind couldn't handle all those things just going out in different directions. So what was the plan? What was the solution to that experience for me? Well, it was a matter of creating this YouTube channel because it helps me with practicing what I love, Forex trading. It helps me do what I love, which is podcasting. And it helps me in terms of enhancing or growing my skill of coaching in the Forex market as well. And so another way that we can look at synchronicity is, okay, what we want to do when using the strategy is understand a trend. So we have to understand, are we going in an up direction or a down direction? Are we going in a bullish market structure? Or are we going in a bearish market structure? Then we have to talk about, okay, what's our risk management? What is our particular goal right here? And so we've established that for the pairs I've been doing so far. I've been doing for every $100 that's in my account, I have been adjusting the lot size to 0.01. And then, okay, when do I enter a trade? When do I exit a trade? That's another separate question that has to be answered as well. So for what we're doing right here, instead of just separating all those three different pieces and not using them together, what we're doing on these trades is that we're actually taking all three, combining them, and using them in our specific strategy that we've been outlining day to day. Now, synchronicity is one way of calling it, but what we're also another way to call synchronicity, as far as what we're doing in the Forex trading side of things, is we're looking for our confluence as well. And so confluence is just another fancy term for all the things that we are looking for. Instead of labeling them as separate, we are combining them into one. And so by combining them, or combining what we're doing into one strategy, this will allow us to make sure that the main components, or the main things that we want to look out for, the main things that we desire, instead of all these different things that are happening with all these different factors, instead of, we're actually using that to combine it into one particular strategy. And again, what this does is this allows us to build up the power that we have as don't mind me, I'm just taking a look at our opportunities right here. But what this does for us is it allows us to go ahead and it allows us to be able to develop our power as a master trader. And I've talked about power before, I believe a couple of weeks ago, but this power that we have can only be built, can only be enhanced if we keep being consistent with our trading skill. And I talked about that. We can't go for, one day and stop. We can't go for 1 week and stop. We can't go for 2 weeks and stop. No, we have to keep this particular journey going day by day and step by step. And you can hear it on my voice. I could have made a million excuses. not to pat myself on the back, right? Because that's not what I'm trying to do. But it would have been very easy for me to not talk, very easy for me to not be able to record these particular videos. Now, mind you, I will probably need to take breaks throughout today just to give my voice that resting power, because straightening my voice right now is most definitely not the smartest nor healthiest way to make sure I recover, mind you. But it could have been very easy for me to not do anything and just basically take the trades on my own. Everyone sits and doesn't understand, okay, how did I get to this place? But I certainly don't want to do that for you guys. I would rather take the trades as best as I can, rest my voice as best as I can, and we'll go from there. So, a main part of the story is that right now we are concentrating on building up that power of understanding we have this gift within us, this gift of mastering the markets. And all we're doing is training ourselves on how to use that power on a day-to-day basis. We've done that today with a couple of trades that we took. We developed that experience even with those losses that we've taken, and we've adjusted our strategy to help us grow our power forever even more. And we're now in this trade right now so that we can focus on this trade, focus on the present time consciousness of everything, and allow that to keep developing our power as we move forward. All right, everybody. So I am back. Once again, I'm just resting my mic voice. So I just wanted to check on some of the trades that were happening. We do have an opportunity on silver for that buy arrow right there. And I could definitely see why it's taken some time to get to this point. Of course, we were looking at the support right here for price to break away from. And silver did indeed do that. So I'm going to be looking at silver for that buy there. And again, what I'll be doing is I'll just be closing this sell trade that is in profit. Now, I will go ahead and explain that a little bit. Also want to just take a look at how platinum, okay, nothing there. And then, okay, it is time to close out the gold trade, gold versus the euro trade. We just made our 3% on that, so we are good to go. So we will allow that to go ahead and move forward for us. Okay. So now we've got a buy. Now we've got a buy arrow on both gold and silver. So that is interesting. And again, we're going to be doing the same thing for silver that we'd be doing for gold, or vice versa, I should say. Again, first, we do definitely need to make sure that the candle closes with that arrow not disappearing. Otherwise, we don't take that trade. But the idea is that we'll close a sell trade for silver that's in profit, and we'll close a sell trade for gold that is in profit as long as the candle indeed holds up. So we will go ahead and take that time to allow that to play out. We got about 30 seconds for both of these candles right here. And so my finger is on the trigger, but I am not pulling the trigger as of yet. We're not gun shy. We are just making sure that we do what we say we're going to do, which is our strategy, which is to make sure the candle closes out, and that's going to happen in about 15 seconds from now. So we're just waiting on that to take place. And now what I love about this market, and we talked about this a little bit, but first, before we talk about just that, okay, close the sell for gold, close the sell for silver, and now we have our buy trades in action as we speak. And again, what that means is that we close a sell trade that were both in profit for both gold and silver in order to allow now an open buy trade to take place. So now our rules are going to be a little bit different. We're not necessarily going to be going for, well, our rules are the same. We will allow these trades to play out. But in terms of what we need to do now is that we need to wait until we get to a proper buy position in order to close the buy trade out. So that might take some time for us. And again, the other thing that we'll have to keep in mind is when the trading day is done for the day. So we'll definitely keep our eyes on that particular sector as well. But in the meantime, we have two trades on the play, two trades on the rise. So we're going to go ahead and allow those two trades to indeed do whatever it is they need to do in order to move forward in the right direction for us. So now what I want to talk about is for this market, of course, the market doesn't care who you are. Now, I bring up such a very poignant thing, and you can go ahead and write this down if you'd like. Right, the Forex market doesn't care who you are, because at the end of the day, this market is not a respecter of people. Yes, we understand, of course, the bigger people that are in play. And by the way, that arrow on silver did indeed move over to the next candle. So we're just going to wait for a close on that candle right there before we take another buy position on sell. Gold right now has not done that. So we are also just kind of in the, right now we are in the midst of just allowing this trade to play out for us. So coming back to what we were talking about. So the idea is, as far as the Forex market, it doesn't care who you are. If we think about it in a sense, what the Forex market is teaching us is that it doesn't matter doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your skill level. It doesn't matter where you're at economically, where you're at socially. What this market will teach you is that you can make money no matter who you are. It's an open market for everyone. Anyone is able to come into this market and play the skill that they want to play in order to generate money for themselves. So, a lot of particular jobs, a lot of particular places where you get a source of income. I can even speak to just, and again, there's nothing wrong with this. As far as getting a college degree, there's no wrong there. I don't want to say anything bad about that, because you did take the time, you did invest, you put in the hard work to get your degree. And so I totally get that. And I'm not here to cast any disparages on that. That's a huge accomplishment for you. For me, though, if we talk about the ones that don't have that opportunity, this is a opportunity that one can take advantage of. Because again, all we did was just place $100 in our account and just allow ourselves to be on this journey that we have been on for the past 15 days. Now, of course, I had experience along the way, but that experience just comes from doing the trading. I didn't have to get a certificate, nor did I have to spend or let me back that up. I had to learn this particular skill. I still have great Forex mentor teachers, but I understand that the information I can easily give on a YouTube channel for free that you can listen to and that you can practice on your own. Right? There's not a whole lot of, oh, you have to do this, oh, you have to do this. Well, that all come with time, but you can always practice that out by just getting the experience, by just doing the thing. There's no certification of, well, if you want to work for an institutional trader, potentially you'll need that particular certification. Let me just close this trade on silver. All right. So now we have two. So we have two open buy trades on silver, and we have one open buy trade on gold. So just to give everybody a recap of where we're at. But coming to the point now, we understand that, throughout this path, there are going to be things that a lot of other places you require to get. So there's barriers to entry for a job. There's barriers of entry for even school, to work, to get the degree, to get the job. There's, a lot of barriers out there. And what this market can teach us is that there's no sort of barrier that comes with this. If you wanted to, right now, if you're watching this video, right now as you hear me speak, you can open up an account right now and you can go ahead and practice in the market right now. You don't have to wait for anybody. You don't have to get this or get that. Yes, you have to open up an account, and yes, there's a little bit of a process to that, but that's relatively simple. All you have to do is just put the MetaTrader on there, or you have to just go, or all you'll need to do is just work on getting your account and everything created, and then you can go ahead and jump right in and do it as what I'm doing right now here live. And I think that's important because, there's so many things that stop people from doing what they want to do, or they look at an opportunity and they stop because of, what does it cost? And with this market, there's not really such a cost to my understanding. I've been in places where, I kept going and then I stopped because of one barrier of entry over another. But the market doesn't allow for, or not doesn't allow, but it does not have that same barrier that a lot of other places have. Again, you can, if you wanted to, just pause the video right here before going any further, and you yourself can open up a account right now if you would like. So that's definitely food. That's food for thought for later. And of course, we can explain that a bit more, especially if once I don't have a voice that sounds like a croaking frog, if you will. But the idea is that this is a pretty much I'm not going to say free, but this is pretty much an opportunity that you can get into right now if you wanted to. Okay, everybody. So just going to come back into silver. Now gold, our down arrow disappears. So we're no longer in that uptrend. So we've gone ahead and we've closed those particular trades out. Currently, we are just focusing on gold. I'm sorry, for silver for right now. And as we can see, we're just working on cost averaging everything, and again, we'll have a plan for if we need to go ahead and if that arrow disappears, we know when we want to get out of the trade, when we want to go ahead and close out of that trade as well. So it's just a matter of just following our plan step by step, piece by piece. And again, just being in a state of calmness and understand that no matter where we're going to go, we'll make sure that we move in the direction that the market is telling us to move. So currently we are in we're still in our buy trades for silver as right now. And we are just allowing these particular trades to play out. Now, just kind of taking a look at the market so far, I know that, and again, I just want to show where I've been getting into these trades. So we took a position right around, and I'm just, remembering when all this took place. So we went in on this particular one right here. We went in on this one, went in on this one, went in on this one, went in on this one. So basically we've been cost averaging every time the particular candle has been closing. So that has been our plan with getting into silver. And again, we will go ahead and close these particular trades, or I'm sorry, if we need to readjust, if the arrow disappears, then we'll go ahead and do that. But at least for right now, we are still in or we still have just looking at our trades right now, or just looking at the trend in the market, we're still in this uptrend for silver. We're still in the uptrend for the silver market. So there is no need, or there is no plan at this particular point, or not a plan, but there is not a need for right now to go into an action where we need to work on adjusting our trades if needed. So right now we're just kind of allowing this trade to take place. And again, I will be either And we know exactly when I know exactly when I want to get out of these trades. It'll either be when we, oh, I'm sorry. It'll either be if there's our 30 pips strategy or 30 pips goal has been met. We'll either get out if the arrow disappears, or especially since we're getting close to the market time in about 32 minutes, if it's at 10 o'clock, then I'll also go ahead and close out the trade as well. So all that is happening in the mix right now. All we're doing is staying the course. We're breathing a little bit, and we'll be able to move forward from there. So again, I will keep my eyes out on these particular trades. And again, normally I would talk us through and just make sure that we are kind of looking at these trades, live step by step together. But of course, my voice is not in the most perfect of conditions. So I definitely want to make sure that I am saving my voice and not allowing it to get lost or anything like that. Okay, everybody, just want to give another quick update. We are currently in another buy trade for silver. We can see that candle close with the arrow still pointing up in the right direction. And so we will go ahead and get ourselves into another buy trade for silver. And if I have any further updates, or not, sorry, not if, but when I have further updates, I'll make sure to pass that information along to you. All right, everybody, I'm going to get myself into another buy trade with silver. Again, just following along with the plan. We still have our up arrow. Our candle closed right when that arrow moved to the next candle. So all we're doing is following along with the plan. I'm still seeing a uptrend on this particular pair, and I'll give you the next update when I can. All right, everybody, we are back. And as I said, we are going to be looking at this account on all different angles, whether we are doing spectacular or whether we have to take a step back and just reflect. And today is, as we consider my account right now, is a matter of reflection. So as far as what happened, our trades are still now, right now we can see that we're still in a uptrend. However, as far as the account is concerned, we have certainly blown this particular account at this particular time. We have about $15 left in the equities. So with that being said, that is only a good thing that we were allowed to see this. I am, very, as I look back, I understand that there is now a perfect opportunity to revamp this strategy. And so what that means is for silver and gold, we certainly were able to see some things on the 5-minute time frame as we've been throughout this 15-day journey. But now it definitely sounds like, based on where we're at this point, that there are going to be adjustments that need to be made. So certainly that means we can go to a higher time frame, such as the 15-minute time frame, and we can go ahead and make those particular adjustments. So while this may seem a little, what's the word I'm looking for? While in the perspective of someone who is looking at this, it may sound discouraging. All this is done is, on my side, I show you each and every day, each and every trade, and now I can go ahead and readjust, revamp, and we can move forward in the right direction still. Again, while we have taken a loss in this particular day and a setback, if you will, I can only say in my perspective that this is a sign of encouragement. It is a sign of progression. And if we apply it in the right way and move forward, then we're not going to allow, or I won't allow, this to get the negativity started in my mind. And again, I'm not saying that this is easy to digest or anything. It's going to take a moment to sink in. However, that doesn't mean that we stop here. This isn't the end of our journey. This is just what we have to call a stopping point on the journey for right now, and allow this to propel us into the direction that we want to go. So right now we could see that we are down to about $15.60. You certainly can see that on my screen, but I'll say it on the recording as well that we are down to this point, and now it's all just a matter of recovery. So this is going to do it for day 15 of our journey. We move on forward to day 16. Again, there's no stopping on right here. We just go ahead and we move forward now to day 16 with the information that we have learned. And now we can move forward in the right direction. So everyone, have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a beautiful Monday, and happy trading.